Except when we come back, I did my research. I have like a crazy beard. I got an Amish hat. I'm like, oh, I converted to Amish now. It's my last podcast.
You got like a weird Amish accent.
Whatever that is.
Well, you wouldn't even be on the podcast because you would have already given up the internet.
Oh no, that's my
that's
last
true.
one. That would come on.
You would like call us from a rotary phone, like you're like, hello guys, and you're like on some payphone somewhere. You're like, this is the last time I'm touching technology.
Like, I got my horse and buggy ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
You got an accent within like days. You're like,
Ready to go.
Oh, yes.
I'm like Irish almost. I don't know.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Board with the Boys.
yep.
As we're back together again to make an amazing episode like always. Hey, try to be creative here, but anyways,
Yeah. We've taken a little break, even though in our postings you probably won't notice, but we've taken a little holiday breather. So
I've been
we're
holding
gonna-
my breath the whole time.
so-
I wasn't really breathing.
Yeah. So we're gonna get back
I was
into it.
Wim
We're gonna
Hofing.
try to be consistent. 2021. Get it going.
peace and love.
Peace and love, fam.
Now my camera's messed up.
All right.
It's all
Well,
good.
2020 sucked.
2020 sucked. There was some positive.
2021's not starting off much better.
So I don't know why everyone thought it was gonna be amazing right away.
Just overnight, it was going to change. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. But I want to talk about something I saw. So I think at least in Massachusetts, by the year 2035,
Oh, I've seen that.
you won't be able. They're not gonna sell any more gas-powered vehicles, and like, it's something that like you kind of know is the coming like future. Like, you know, oil and all that stuff's not infinite. Like they need to get to a point where like they officially make a change. Like it's everyone knows it's coming, but if you really like, that's only 15 years away, or 14 years actually from 2021. So it's
I'll
like
be effing 40.
like by the time like my like either of my kids, like my daughter is able to drive, like she cannot buy a brand new gas powered vehicle. So like, what do you think that's gonna do to like
weird.
to the non-electric market? Because the car market is huge, the aftermarket car market is huge. Like cars
Is
in
it
general are
new
just
vehicles though?
New.
Or is it an all? Okay, so they'll still be
You
all.
can still buy
like,
used.
you can still buy used, but even that market now has a shelf life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a used gas vehicle now
So,
becomes a commodity. Like,
Weird.
do prices go crazy? Like, what about if you make like people that make like carburetors and stuff like that? Do they just like slowly
go out of business.
do they go out of business, or does it like if you're like rebuilding
about-
a 2001 car, because that would be like what it people who build like old muscle cars now is going to be like people in 20 years building like a 2000 car. You know what I mean? Like, do gas car parts just go crazy through the roof as like everyone just adopts the electric, and now gas is like such a commodity that like it's super expensive? Like, I don't know.
What
How
about,
do you see?
what about the gas stations? I mean, like, eventually, there's still going to be used cars that take gas, but
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
eventually
the,
they're just
the
gonna-
adoption is going to be
Hybrid.
a lot slower, I think, because
Very weird.
I mean,
Well, it's not-
everybody
we're not-
drives
it's not
used.
even-
Almost everybody drives used cars now, anyways. But
Yeah, yeah. It's not even
So-
like close to being ready to go over
Yeah.
to electric anyways. Like I feel like it won't. Honestly, I feel like it won't be ready even then.
yeah, that's
So-
it seems like I said, I agree that that's the future. It's obviously what we need to move to. But you think like 14 years? That's not a long time. Like,
Nope.
I don't think every car needs to be electric. It's cool that it would be good if more people did drive electric and stuff, but just
Yeah.
saying like making a law like you can't sell gas,
should-
I don't like that, honestly.
You should be incentivized to buy electric.
you already
Yeah.
are. You are now. You get tax incentives for buying electric
Do you?
now. Yeah, but like, I mean, to Tim's point, like, I agree. Like, putting a forceful ban, I mean, I get it in one perspective, like they want to just like
Yeah.
make the push, but on the other side, it's like if you think about it, like the daily commuters and those things, they're not the ones that are like, you know, killing the ozone layer. It's like the
Yeah.
semis and the city buses. Like, if all of those start shifting, then like we would have a lot longer to go for
Yeah.
normal cars. So I feel like they're pushing it on the general public when it's like the kind of the corporations that really need the like the big change for it to happen. But it's like I feel like it's gonna be so harshly pushed when like I mean, that year is probably just thrown out there. I don't know if that will change. It might change. That's a really far date for like lawmakers to decide on, but it just seems like when you think about it, like that could literally just throw the whole car world just like on its head with like
Another thing I was thinking of is that when we do slowly start converting over to electric cars, all these like parking stations, like you have to plug your car in. I mean, there's only like 2 per parking garage right now. Every
Yeah.
single spot's going to have like a power station, so there's going to have to be
Well, that's what I was saying.
some form of conversion, you know,
That it
over the
wasn't-
years.
That's what I was saying. Like we're not even remotely close
Yeah.
to it. And the other issue is that's like a public thing, like a public park garage or like on the street or something. But if you live in like an apartment where it's privately owned,
Yeah.
then it's on the landlord.
to install.
And
Yeah,
they have to install that. And if you have everyone in the apartment building that has an electric car, you need one for every single spot now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like all the landlords are gonna love that. Like
All
Yeah.
the power plants and everything, they're just going to have to get so much more efficient and so much more.
well, that's the
like,
thing. It's like it's not just the vehicles;
stronger.
it's like the infrastructure. It's like you said,
Yeah.
like places to charge it. Like a normal house is like okay, it just goes on your electric, but like as it is now, they already say like we really don't have enough power being generated to supply what people use today, just because like everyone's just using more and more electricity with computers and TVs and whatever. So it's like all of a sudden, if like everyone's plugging their cars in every night, it's like Brian said, like we're going to need to generate a lot more electricity, and like we generate a lot of the ways we generate electricity in the U.S. is like by bad means, like like coal and like
No.
yeah.
it's
That's
not
the
all
thing too, like-
being like green like wind turbines. It's like a lot of energy we get
Yeah.
is like bad for the environment. Like so it's like
That's
even
my
though we're
thing.
using electricity, which is like renewable to a sense, we're not always getting it from wind or water. We're getting it from like
Yeah.
bad infrastructure. So it's I feel like there's so much of that would need to change for it to really work. So I feel like this 2035 is like almost like a pipe dream, because it's like, well, you guys need to do it first before you tell us to
Yeah.
switch. It's like
that's my thing too. Kind of what you said, like with the big trucks and like stuff like that. Like if they converted that stuff over first, there'd be less of a need for people, or
Exactly,
more of
yeah.
time for people to convert
a
that way.
slower conversion. Yeah.
If or even if
Another thing
necessary
I was
at
thinking
all.
of is like every house is probably going to have to be required to have like a solar panel or something. That way,
which is like fine, but the
If-
issue with the solar panels is how they are right now. There's a whole like
if you
This
you know
pl-
like if your city or whatever is producing your electricity can't physically produce that much electricity to put a powered
Yeah.
charging station at every house, your house is probably going to have to supply its own, you know, power to charge your car.
Yeah, I mean, a
Which
single
would be-
station is not like it's not a lot for a single person. Like, it doesn't really change your electric bill that much. But it's when like okay, you know, a handful of people drive Teslas or whatever, and it's like all of a sudden like, you know, what is it, 400 million people in the United States, like. All of a sudden, every person, well, not every person, obviously kids and old people, whatever, but like all of a sudden, all the driving people switch over. That's when it's like becomes a bump. Like here and there, it's not too bad. And it's like, yeah, is it solar panels on each house? But then, like Tim said, it's like right now, it's solar panels like, oh, if you do solar panel, you basically get like 15% of the energy you generate, and you basically give it all away. And they,
Yeah, it's stupid.
it's just a very shady market right now. Like you need to like.
it could be so good.
It needs to be better
Yeah,
where
like,
like you just
ruined it.
pay for the solar panel, it's installed and it's your solar panel. Whatever you make, you get to bank it like in a battery stored in your basement or something. Like that's probably the future. That like Brian said, if they installed a charger at every house, they install like a couple solar panels, it goes to a charging bank, and then everyone charges from this
Specifically.
charging bank. But then like you said, like parking garages and restaurants, and it's like we have no control over that. So if everyone's
Even, like-
forced to switch, and then all of a sudden you're driving on vacation and you're like, the next charging station is 200 miles away, and I have like 100 miles left. Like, what do you do? Like,
Even like a meter on the street, like the meters are going to have to come equipped with, you know, plug-in ports. Then if you don't pay your meter, it doesn't charge your car.
Like parking meters
yeah,
that charge
it's just
your car.
it's gonna get weird. But I mean, like people are
But-
saying, like I think someone mentioned like the gas station thing. Like I feel like they could be creative with gas stations. Like I think gas stations won't go away. I think obviously like just going in there, pumping and leaving. Like for the Teslas, they have like I only mentioned Tesla because that's really the only like viable option that people really buy right now. But it's like there's like superchargers. They're pretty fast. Like in like 15, 30 minutes or whatever, you can get like 100, 200 miles on your car. Like it's pretty good. Like so if that gets a little bit faster, they could have like charging centers, but then they would have to change it. So instead of just being like a little convenience store, they would be like little restaurant type things. So instead of like just single gas stations where you get a Coke and then you get gas and you leave, it would be like you go plug in for 30 minutes and it's like, you know,
you eat your restaurant.
yeah,
food,
you kind of
come
get the
back,
food. So
your
it's not
car.
like it's not like a full sit
That would-
down. It's like
that'd
kind of
be
like
cool
a
if, like,
it's like
we
a
didn't-
midway, like a Subway style, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
more.
Speedway has
that'd be-
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, but
Like,
even
they should do
Dunkin's is
something
not
like
like something in between Dunkin's and like a sit down.
It's like
you know
an
what I mean?
airport. It's like an airport terminal.
Yeah, like I feel like
But-
because if you live in the neighborhood, you're not gonna like go there and sit there and park for 30 minutes to charge your car. But if you're like on a road trip or you're like going to see somebody an hour away, it may not be horrible to stop at a place and grab a bite to eat and plug in. So it's like I feel like there's still a use of having these random plug-in stations because that promotes travel and stuff like that. So I don't see them going away. Maybe a few of them, like the lesser companies that can't handle it, but like I see some of them just having to like adapt and make it more of like a give somebody something to
Well-
do for 30 minutes while they charge their car.
All the privately owned gas stations, like the one in the whole city kind of thing,
Yeah.
they'll go away.
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, that's the price of innovation. Like companies that can't adapt, they fail. That's what happens. But I still see there being like a market for having a charging location. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like the bigger question is like aftermarket. Like how many millions and billions and companies and stuff are around aftermarket car parts? Like it's just
Yeah.
and like racing. You know what I mean? Does all racing transition into like electric
See,
racing?
That's the thing. Yeah,
Like-
see, that's the thing. Like racing part, like I get, like yeah, like electric is fast, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah,
And I know it's
agree.
like, oh, it's like the environment, but like honestly, like cars themselves, like alone, like a car isn't that big of a deal to the environment. Honestly, like it's not a huge impact.
And so
And
those
it's just
goddamn
like-
trucks that roll on coal and they fucking black cloud the whole
Yeah.
city when they.
But it's like that whole like, I don't know, like cars is more than just like transportation for a lot of people. Like you said, it's a job for some. It's a lifestyle. It's like
Yeah.
an art. It's a culture. Like it's so much more. Like if you're a car person, it's not just a car. Like it's so much more than
Yeah.
just a car.
I mean,
I feel like
another
that's gonna-
another kind of thing that's big now is Uber, right? DoorDash. All these people who are gonna have like they work for Uber or DoorDash, whatever. They have the electric cars. I mean, they're gonna have to charge their car all goddamn day long just to.
I mean, maybe
make a
not. I
living.
mean, so if you, I mean, some of these like some of the Tesla's full range, you get like 500 miles. Like you're not
Yeah.
gonna do 500 miles in a day doing like Uber Eats and stuff like that. So like that might not be bad for those situations because electric car like starts shuts off with like no damage to a car. Where like a gas engine, like every time you start it,
Yeah.
it's like it does a little extra
Spark
work.
plugs wear out a little
So
bit.
it's like some of that stuff actually probably better for electric. Like those people probably should be switching now. Like you shouldn't be driving the freaking Hummer H2 if you're doing like Uber Eats. You should probably
Yeah.
be driving something pretty efficient, like as it is. But and like Tim, you actually brought up a good point. Is like jobs in general. I feel like a lot of innovation. There's a little room for like people who get pushed out to switch sides. But for here, if you work on like a gas engine, you can't just immediately switch over and work on like some weird battery powered engine that you have no clue about. Like, so it's like I feel like
Different.
that becomes a barrier where like, do they switch over and try to learn how to work on those cars, or do they try to like, oh well, I guess I'll go work at some power plant because that's what's needed now. Like, it's,
I mean, maybe some of like the suspension aspects and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
some of the
and some of the
standard car stuff,
drivetrain
but-
stuff, but like, yeah, like a lot of the powertrain stuff is gonna be different. Obviously,
everything's so much more like technical now. It's all like computer driven. So it's
you're
like
gonna have like a
I
bunch
feel
of
like that's-
nerds working on your car.
I feel like that's kind of
pretty
an
much.
issue too, though.
So that means
like-
gas is going to be a lot cheaper now. So they're going to be using that a lot more for like generators, for like cabins and stuff like that, right?
I think gas is gonna
Or, like-
dip. Like I mean, it's gonna go all over the place, but like until it, if you look at like the overarching chart, I think it's gonna dip super low, and then when that happens, it's gonna be like,
Yeah.
like-
$6 a gallon or something.
oh, it's gonna probably. I could see a future where it's like fucking $20 a gallon. You know what I mean? Because it becomes a commodity. It's like a supply and demand. You know what I mean? It's like you want to order like a gas related engine part. After all of that time, people are going to be charging way more for it because it's like, oh well, you can't really get this, and like we're the only people that sell this thing. So people will still make these things, but I feel like the aftermarket industry is gonna just probably be wicked expensive.
And I think too, right now there is not really an aftermarket for like electric cars,
Yeah.
or there's really not a lot of places you can go to get electric cars fixed, and that's a huge thing too.
Yep.
And they're extremely expensive. Like the batteries for those things are
ridiculous.
ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And to make them is incredibly bad for the environment.
That's what I'm saying.
And
So it's
that's-
like it's a
there's
weird.
a lot of problems there. Like it sounds good, but it may not.
It's a
necessarily
very
be
weird
good.
like way that I don't know how it happened, but like all of these green things that they want us to do, like they're almost still bad on the back end. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
you just
Because,
don't
yeah,
see it
because they
on the
haven't
other
developed-
side of things.
Yeah.
But at
That's
the
what I
same,
mean. Like, go ahead.
but at the same time, doing this situation, switching over from gas to electric, it means lesser jobs for those who do all those things, just like you're saying, in the mechanics and people that making the parts too.
Yeah,
I mean, the small shops repairing and stuff like that.
yeah, like Brian said, like the independent gas stations will go away. All the independent like car shops that's like
Yeah.
have like the older generation who probably like super knowledgeable, like they're not gonna have a market really because the people who have the gas stuff are gonna have to try to start fixing their own stuff because these dealerships aren't gonna service gas cars anymore probably. Like I wonder how the dealerships are gonna do it. Are they gonna like? I guess I can't say if it's banning the sale of gas vehicles. They're gonna
That's
just have to
weird.
switch over their whole thing. So if all they sell is electric, I doubt they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, bring your gas car in and service it." Maybe they will. I don't
Do you
know.
know-
Like there's gonna
Well,
be a
they-
weird.
I mean,
might-
they could probably still service it.
yeah, they
they
probably
might,
still
like-
service it. It's money, I guess.
It's gonna be a while before like all that stuff happens. Like
Yeah.
say the cutoff is whatever, like 2035 or what you
Yeah.
said. It's gonna be a while before the shops and the
Yeah.
the parts and stuff is gonna feel it.
Oh yeah, I
think
agree.
too. Because
I
there's
mean,
gonna be
it's-
all the people that still have the used cars and you can still buy
Oh,
used
yeah, yeah,
cars.
yeah.
And people are still gonna be buying gas, so it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, the used
after
car
that
market
as
is
well.
still huge. So I
Right.
mean, it'll take a while, but it's basically that is like you started it. Like you started the
Yeah.
machine
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes the decline. Like right now, there's no like it'll never drop off. But as soon as you make that
Yes.
cutoff, it's like
Yeah.
it heads down. So it's like that'll make a lot of people worry. It may take 50 years for it to like make a difference for like all the gas powered cars that like eventually die. But it's like all the people like when that happens need to like switch their brain and like okay, what's my next business plan? Like how do I slowly adapt into it? And hopefully people do. Or yeah, like you're gonna see a big change. All these shops are gonna go away, and you're gonna have like high school kids with like computers and stuff that are like, oh, pull your car in, they plug it in and like freaking give you a tune up, and like that's gonna be like the new like mechanic shop is like some kid on a laptop.
So right now,
Right.
that means if that situation happens, that means a lot of not just cars, but like home appliances must be changed as well. If gas
What
prices are
home
going to be
Well,
so
not,
expensive.
not home, not like appliances, but like things like a
Yeah.
gas dryer and stuff like that is based on like natural gas that comes into your house, but like a
Or
lawnmower and a
propane or
snowblower
whatever.
would absolutely be affected. I see that being affected earlier because that's easier because
Really?
those are already being out. Yeah, it's the same thing because you get that gas from the gas
Yeah,
station.
but they're not saying you can't. Oh, I guess the gas itself. I was like,
Yeah, they're not saying you can't sell them, but that
new gas lawnmowers. But
I'm saying like changing all the lawnmowers over to
yeah.
electric is so much easier for the industry than it is for cars. So I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like those types of appliances, weed whackers, things like I feel like way before 2035, maybe in the next 10 years or so,
Yeah.
those are you're gonna see like no more like Yamaha and Honda, like no one's gonna sell a gas powered weed whacker anymore.
Yeah, but like generators too. Like that's gonna be a big thing for like hospitals and stuff like that, right?
Like the
Until
big,
we have
like,
another
industrial-
way to have a backup
I don't-
power,
yeah.
I don't know the science around it. I mean, you have power based on electricity, you have power based on gas. So it's like if you have electricity that goes down, you need like a gas powered generator to feed electricity into it. But it's like I don't. Yeah, if that's the thing, I don't know. If,
I don't think for that same thing that you just said, Christian, the hospitals, I feel like the hospitals will still rely on their generators being gas powered.
yeah, I mean, even if like the general population is like cut off from like gas things or gas in general, like maybe in the future, like 2100 or something, that gases stop being sold, like all these industries that are like crazy money, they're gonna have access to it. Like it'll be us that take the brunt of it first as the industries get to like play their games. That's how it works.
Well,
Those are the people
just
that would
gonna-
make the biggest difference in the world. But it's like they force all these things on the people, even though it's like if I switch over to electric, it's like I do like such a small fraction of betterness to the world. But if like Amazon like paid a little bit of their freaking earnings, it switched every single delivery vehicle to some electric vehicle. It's like
Yeah.
holy shit! Immediately, it's like we're that much better. So it's like
I think they are doing that.
I know
actually.
there's probably
I-
some of them that are doing that. I think even
well,
like
yeah,
some
no,
of
like
the,
Amazon. I seen a thing that said they like are committing to make all their delivery vehicles electric.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh,
literally
there
saw
you
a commercial saying that. Like they are.
yeah.
crazy.
Well,
going
that's
to do
awesome
that.
then.
It's crazy
Yeah.
how they switch from relying on other services and now they have their own service.
I mean
They
that's
don't have,
that's
they don't
better
have to pay,
because
like,
they
a
don't have to.
UPS or,
they were fine with everybody else, but then everyone else started giving them shit and raising rates, so they were like, screw it, we'll make our own. So I mean, props to Amazon for doing that.
So, so basically, like, this improvement is going to take a little time. It's just like this is an example, like Market Basket and all the grocery stores switching over from plastic to paper bags.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
that's
what they already did
Like
that
the
again.
change of that. It's
yeah. I mean, I feel like that stuff should have happened so long ago. Like plastic has been
Except for-
an issue for so freaking long. I feel
Except
like
for paper is just as bad as plastic, though.
It is.
Yeah.
That's the other issue. And they started with paper, and then
They keep
decided
going
it was
back, yeah, they-
too
Yeah, they
bad
keep
for the
going back.
environment. So they went to plastic.
Yeah.
And plastic was too bad. So went back to paper.
yeah. I mean,
again.
I'm not talking like specifically about like the bag situation. I just meant in
Yeah,
general,
yeah.
like the whole like recycling and plastic. Like we still haven't
Yeah,
even figured out fucking
Recycle it.
recycling.
Yeah, recycling in general. Yeah,
Yeah,
it still
recycling
doesn't,
is still kind of like
it
a
doesn't
joke.
actually
Like they
get
want you to
recycled.
recycle, but like behind the scenes, like
It just gets
everything you
sent off.
recycle is mostly ending up being in the trash anyway.
And
So it's
the same shit. Yeah.
I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's hard. You see these things for like, we're gonna change all the cars over, and we're gonna do this. When it's like, if you really look at
Yeah.
it, there's so many other things that they need to fix first before like
Yep.
shoving these things down like people's throats. Which again, I'm not opposed to like electric cars and all that stuff. I agree that has to be the future because the Earth's gonna run out of freaking oil eventually. But it's like,
Yeah.
like why not solve and like cure, like fix the big businesses and like somehow figure out recycling or whatever, like something. I don't know. That
Make
stuff, the
renewable
infrastructure
energy
is just
better.
needs to be resolved.
Like the whole thing with the solar panels I was talking about is like, I was watching something where like solar panels could be super good, super efficient, and they work, but like a lot of the companies are super shady. You have to like put like a lien on your house and like so expensive,
Yeah.
and like you said, you don't get all the money, and it's like
You don't get the energy or the money. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then some places like we're passing laws to make solar panels like illegal, and like there's like stupid like
Ridiculous.
housing things where you can't have solar panels on your house, and it's like just for money because like the electric company basically was funding the people who went and made the laws because they're gonna lose money.
Yeah, there's
And
like
it's
weird
just
stuff too where it's
that's
like
what they need to fix. They need to fix that, not
Yeah.
like.
well,
if
they,
I
they
want
need to
buy
fix
a
like
solar
the
panel
they
on my
need to
house, I
fix
should be
like
able to
the
do whatever the hell I
corruptness
want to do.
around that. It's like, why can't I just go on Amazon and be like, buy a solar panel and then like hook it up to my
well,
house?
You kind of can.
I mean, you kind of can, but like you can't like. I don't know. I don't
you
know.
can't get a
the
big. You probably
exact
can't get
details.
like a big enough. Well, if you have enough money, you might be able to. But
But then,
that's
like,
kind
you
of a
have to
weird
have like an
market right
electric
now.
company tie it into something, and I feel like they would
Yeah.
need like the actual like whoever you pay for it to come out and like inspect it, and then they would do. I feel like there would be
Yeah.
something around it. There'd be some red tape around it, but
Yeah,
like,
probably is.
yeah, I feel like there's so many
there's,
efficiencies that we could do, but then they force us into these other like massive things, and it's really not the biggest solve. Like I
No,
feel like
not at
this.
all.
They just need to work on like more smaller just I just had the topic, the thing in my head.
That's it.
And then I just
You didn't write it down, Christian.
the smallest changes instead of making the major changes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just
Well,
work on
For
a lot of little
delivering
stuff.
little here.
I agree,
just
but
see how it works.
I agree, but only specifically for people. I feel like for people, if they get all the
Yeah.
people to slowly make the changes, they slowly got people to switch to like efficient LED bulbs and stuff like that. Like work on the people doing the small stuff, but the big stuff should be the corporations. Like don't make the people do the big stuff
Major.
because the people doing the big stuff doesn't make the change. All the people doing the small stuff is easier for them to achieve, but it's like the corporations are still the ones that are like dumping waste in the fucking lakes and like
I mean,
the
Yeah.
factories dumping smoke out in the atmosphere. Like those are way worse than me just driving my car like on the road
Yeah.
a few miles
this
a day.
might not be the greatest comparison, but I mean, think of it in terms of like phones. I mean, like 10 years ago, not everybody had a smartphone. Everybody still had like the flip phones or the slide phones or just the phones like, what the hell you call them? The little fucking-
flip phone.
Pagers.
yeah, pager phones or whatever. And now,
Like the little
as,
Nokias, yeah.
as the years go on, everybody has a smartphone and nobody has a flip phone anymore. So I mean, if you think of it like that, as if they try to progress us similarly to that, I feel like I don't know. That's just some sort of comparison to go by.
Yeah, I mean that's like, technology comes out that makes our lives better and stuff. And if there's like if companies work on like the normal average citizen and like things to improve them and like make their heating efficient, their energy efficient, like people will be all over that. But it's like no more gas cars, or like you have to have solar panels. It's like people are gonna like be mad at that stuff because they're being forced into these like larger changes. But then it's like, well, why isn't like these random manufacturing companies like have coal restrictions or energy restrictions when they're just like dumping smoke in the atmosphere? It's just very weird how they do things. Like they force the
What
people
they
to do
focus
stuff because
on.
they know they can, and the
all about
corporations,
money.
the corporations have the money and they battle it, and like they're the ones that are actually like causing all the problems, and like so many things of like everything that's related to like making the earth more green and all that stuff. It's like corporations, like
Just goes back to greed, man. Greed, people, and money.
yeah,
That's all it is. Root of all evil, money.
It's really annoying.
it's hard. I mean, like I said, the more you think about it, you can talk about all you want, but you really don't have like you have the power over like your own circumstance, what you buy.
The
You can
world-
buy an
if
electric
you're-
car, you can buy a gas car, you can do whatever. You can buy gas and just dump it in the street. You know what I mean? Like you could be as efficient and as green as you want to be, but it's like bigger change just like is so far beyond us.
If you could
It's
power
hard.
the world on garlic nuts, I mean, then you would be all right.
Yeah.
You just grow the wheat and yeast out of the ground, and you don't even have to like do anything else. It's
I
just
mean,
you grow
gardening
garlic nuts.
is hard. Like every time I see like a freaking zombie movie or apocalypse thing, I'm like,
Oh,
man,
no.
like I'm like, oh, it'd be so crazy. And then I'm like, but I would have to like be a farmer, and like I don't like that. Like that's so difficult
I
and
don't
it's
like
so
that.
tedious, and it's like literally like work all day. Like I'm like that's the part that would
husking
be
corn all day.
like I wish I like was better and had the skills and the patience to like have a whole garden and like get efficient with that. Because yeah, that would be awesome. If everyone had like their own gardens and grew their own food, that would be huge. You know what I mean? But
That's-
nobody does that, so we mass produce this nonsense, and that's part of the
It
issue.
sucks,
too.
man. Like I don't
Meat
know why.
production.
I don't know why like
There we go, I got some
vegetables
for
and
you guys.
whatnot, and apples are so, are so expensive to get healthy. It's so stupid.
Oh yeah, that's like sort of the
They
same
don't want
topic,
you.
but
They
that's
don't want you to get healthy.
that's greed. That's back to Brian's point. That's greed. Yeah, it's so much
Yeah.
more difficult to be healthy and in shape than it is to be like not. You know what I mean?
I can go just
Some
go
people would
get
say
me.
like, you just get up and exercise, do this, but it's like they make like, TV so easy to watch. Like chips are like fucking 6 cents, and it's like
pizza's cheap too. You just go to Little
yeah,
Caesars.
it's just like it's
$7.
it's a lot more effort. I'll say that, not more difficult. It's a lot more effort to like eat really well and like more expensive and all that stuff. But that's different. That's not really like efficiency. That's just like greed and catering to
Lifestyle.
people's laziness. Big corporations.
Hit us with that next topic, Scott.
Not next topic, but like just back to like a little bit more to the food thing. So you guys were all ragging on me for buying
Chicken nuggets!
some meatless chicken nuggets. Which before you
That's
guys say
some
anything,
gay- yeah.
before you say
They're
anything,
terrible.
they weren't the best. But it wasn't the best brand. But I will say that like that idea, while
Chunky
strange,
nuggies.
like the idea of like impossible meat and like the replacements for that, like I think is really like for one, it's really crazy that they can create a fake thing that resembles meat. You know what I mean? It's like, why? If you think it sounds so stupid, like why aren't we just eating like vegetable stuff instead? But it's like we have to create something that mimics meat so much because we all love it so much, so that we can slowly get away from regular meat, so that we can eat this other stuff. So it's like, I feel like it's interesting, and like Tim had argued that like we don't have to stop eating animals, which I agree. We just need to stop doing it the way we are. Not like independently, but like if you look at like the world and how we care for animals and raise animals and like these slaughterhouses and stuff, it's like it's really awful. Like eating animals isn't
Brutal.
bad, but like the mass farming of these animals and the treatment for them that will never change unless we eat less of them. So I feel like the meatless meats, while weird, is like a really interesting way to kind of help tackle that problem. And I haven't tried all of them, and the ones I have tried are okay, not amazing. But I will say that I'm not against it because I like the idea of what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
It's all
Same.
about
I'm not
perfecting
100%.
Might as
I'm
well
not
eat
100%
tofu.
against it. I don't
I mean,
either.
tofu's an alternate choice, but yeah, like I said, I'm not against the idea, but
Yeah. I just think like people are super extreme about it too. Like
I agree.
you have to stop eating all animals together and no meat. Meat's the worst thing for you. It's like it's not. We do eat too much of it. As like America
I agree.
eats way too much meat. And it's bad, like it is bad for you. Like we need more fruits and vegetables, we need more balanced stuff. But we don't need to cut it out completely. But even just doing that, if every household just ate less meat, it would require less production and stuff like that. And it's like
But it's like sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, no, that Joe Rogan's trying to do like
He does all meat.
all meat now.
Yeah.
Like,
But he
he's trying
also,
to
like,
see if he get healthy.
He does like he'll
But
hunt and he'll like kill
Yeah,
an
that's
elk
that's
and then he'll
okay.
eat the elk for the whole month. So it's like that's
Yeah.
a little bit different. So he's not actually like
And it's better for you.
Yeah, that's
like
like-
like venison. Like if you go and you get a deer,
Yeah,
it's like better
yeah.
meat than like cow
Yeah.
meat.
Like-
It's like
Yeah.
less fat and more protein. Like it's a better meat for you.
Buffalo meat's good for you.
but like
Yeah, like it's better than all
but
that
like
stuff.
you're
And it's
coming Tim
natural.
about like not everyone needs to do that. It's the same as like the car conversation. Like if you just like, oh, no more gas, like you can't really do that.
Yeah.
It's so
Not
it's so
everyone needs
difficult
to.
because of how ingrained it is in the cars and the parts and all this stuff. It's like same thing with the meat. Like you don't have to like get rid of meat, but like if we all ate a little less in like one meal we switched over like whatever the worst meat is to produce. I don't know what it is, like sausage or beef, whatever the worst one out there is. If you did the metrics for it, replace that one with something, and it's like everyone eats a little bit less, and then we have to kill less animals. Which I know the whole circle of life that has to happen, but it's like I said, if you look at like how we're doing it, if that was just
Yeah.
done a little bit less, and they were like there was less of them, and they weren't as crammed, it would just be better. You know what I mean? Better for the world, better for the animals, better for the people. So like I said, the idea of the meatless things, it's strange that we have to make fake meat and we don't just eat vegetables and stuff in the first place. It's like we have to trick ourselves not to eat meat, but it's I don't
Let's
know.
get back to the real topic here. Why did you try fake chicken nuggets?
For this same reason. Well, for one, I completely like whiffed on where the real chicken nuggets were in the grocery store. No, so I won't lie. That's to being honest. I got in one section. I was like, oh crap! Like, why is there no actual chicken nuggets here? And I just could not think of where they actually were. So as I went down the aisle, it was all like random stuff, and I was like, oh, what is this giant bag? And I just kind of grabbed it, and it said meatless nuggets. As soon as I picked it up, I was like, ugh. But then like this whole conversation that we just had kind of ran through my head, and I was like, all right, let's give it a try.
He thought of all that in like 0.2 seconds as he threw it in the cart.
Pretty sort of. I wasn't like, oh, I'm a savior now because I ate this meatless nuggets. Like even if I just left it there, I felt like I would have been more of a savior. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel any special because I got it, but I was like, let's give it a try and see, where we've gotten in this production. And like I said, I feel like the meat, like if you get like just a pound of like the Impossible beef or whatever it's called, I feel like that's probably way better. I haven't had it. But like the chicken nugget is not quite there yet. So
Yeah,
I'll admit,
the
it
Impossible-
was not a win. It was a fail in the nugget, but I was happy to try
I
it.
just think that nuggets are kind of like a meme, not a meme, but like the whole like chicken nuggies thing.
Chicken
and, like,
nuggies,
it's like
yeah,
a
I
whole-
agree. That's like the
it's
one
like
thing
a
that
whole-
like people will not give up.
Yeah, it's just like you can take away my hamburger, but don't take away my chicken nuggies. Like it's like a whole
yeah, it's like a
culture thing.
big meme thing.
Yeah, but the Impossible Burger is not bad. I actually got like used to eating that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get those burgers. I just get the Impossible.
Yeah, and like
Well, if it's still
and if, like-
from Burger King, it's probably still trash. But
yeah, I don't know how much. I don't know
It's not-
how much of the
it's-
actual thing is because you can buy like the actual like Impossible
Yeah.
brand at the store. Yeah, like if all like let's say just fast food restaurants changed all their meat to that, just slowly got to that point, and then people just kind of got adjusted to it, like Christian said, and people are like, okay, they don't care because they're still kind of getting what they get. That's like a huge win because fast food is obviously like a big part of the issue. So it's like I feel like they don't need to like force it on people, which they aren't doing that now. But I'm just saying like they wouldn't need to force it on people if like all the restaurants slowly switched over, like do fast food first, and then like a few restaurants and stuff like that, and like that alone would probably make enough of a difference that like the quality of the animals or whatever would be that much better.
I don't think that would work though. I don't think the fast food restaurants would do it because they lose
Oh, no.
so much business.
But it was crazy how like you ever
nobody
heard the,
cares about that except
Well,
them. Sorry,
you ever
man.
heard like, how like everyone just kept eating the like McDonald's burgers and Burger King, and then later they find out it wasn't real meat.
Zebra meat.
Like it was pink, like
the pink slime stuff?
pink
Yeah,
slime.
it's,
Yeah,
it's, it's like
And then
it's
they
like
have to
fake
make it
meat,
real.
but it's not like the
Filling,
good stuff
like
that they're
fillers.
producing now. It's like freaking
Yeah.
crappy ass chemical meat, like nasty, gross stuff. Like the
Yeah.
Impossible
Like a
Burger is
hot-
not meat, but it's like really good
They're, like,
ingredients.
plant-based.
It's like pretty decent for you. But like yeah, the old stuff that they made like the burgers, I think it's gotten away from that now. That was a long time ago. All that controversy, like that was disgusting stuff that you could get like straight up cancer and stuff from.
that's why Wendy's like was the big top dog, and then McDonald's started to go like we're 100% beef now, and
Yeah, it's sad that it even
whatever.
got to that point, and like all goes back to Brian's point. It's greed. Like, why would you even get to that point where you're like so greedy for money that you want to save costs by putting like nasty crap and making not even a real hamburger. And it's like, oh, we could save that much money, but it's like, it's greed. Like, why
Why?
would you need
You're,
to
like,
save that
killing
much money
people.
at this like the cost of like the product? It's with everything nowadays. Greed is just awful. Like everything you buy is that much cheaper to save the person money, and it's like we're getting so much away from like quality to just produce quantity because of greed. Like that's just literally still ruling the world in 2021. It's like probably the worst it's ever been.
Yep.
Meat.
I wouldn't care if all the fast food businesses went out of business.
You know what this McDonald's and like Burger King or like any other like stores that have burgers, they're trying to do the chicken sandwich like Popeyes. Like I think KFC has it now.
And they all had
the-
chicken sandwiches.
The crispy kernel is
yeah,
what
the-
KFC has.
Yeah, it's like pickle and whatnot, and they have a
It's
spicy
just a chicken
one.
sandwich.
I mean,
like
that's just
everybody else.
I
that's
said
just
everyone has a chicken sandwich.
that's just
right?
competitive marketing. Like one company has something people like, everyone's going to like Chick-fil-A to get this sandwich, and everyone else is like, oh, okay, we're
I
gonna make
love
the
Chick-fil-A.
same thing. So it's like, I don't know. That's different. That's just companies copying each other, which is what everybody does.
Yeah.
Greed. 2021.
You know what
the
I-
boys.
Kicking it
You know
off
what I
with greed.
miss? You know what I miss? Shake 'em up fries.
What?
Yeah.
Shake 'em
Chicken.
up fries. Like you put
Oh, shake 'em up
sauce.
fries. You're like
Oh,
chicken
I think
swamp
chicken
fries. Look at those chicken.
Chicken swamp fries.
I was like, what? What is that?
There's like chicken bogs in the swamp, and you get the fucking
You just
chicken.
get some.
They just scoop it out and get some chicken from the swamp. Like, there you go.
Oh, you go.
Oh god.
They got a swamp in the back. And just take
Chicken
everything
up
from
front.
there.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's
about
seaweed.
Chicken swamp farm.
That. Chicken swamp
Chicken
farm.
swamp.
It sounds more efficient.
No, I missed those.
More
It was.
natural.
I think it was at Chick-fil-A.
I miss those chicken swamp
Ah,
farms.
I think Burger King had that.
yeah,
The
that and
seasoning
then
you put in the bag and then you just shake it up.
was it
It's just
Arby's?
stupid.
I don't
It's
know
like-
what it was.
They like trick
got
you
the
into like putting the
meats.
seasoning on the fries. Instead of them doing it, they're like, "Here's the fries.
Like you
here's
do it.
seasoning,
There was-
do it
they
yourself."
just
There was
they
one
start,
that-
selling,
Yeah!
they start selling you like a potato. You're like, oh, this is amazing. You go like you cut
Yeah,
it
you have to
yourself,
cook
and
it.
it's like, yeah, you literally just paid for a fucking potato to make your own fries.
It's a DIY kit or something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
it's an
deep.
uncooked potato. You gotta cook it yourself.
They give you
Oh,
like a little
God.
slicer too.
Yeah, they're like, bring it home,
Bacon bit.
cook it, peel it, use a slicer, fry it in some
No,
oil,
no.
put some seasoning on it, and it still won't be that great.
No, they give you the seed and they give you instructions.
grow
of
it.
it.
Yeah. That's what,
And
like
then they give
Burger
you-
King, and then just like packets of seeds.
Hey, that would be better than what it is
Buy
now.
your-
That's
buy your
actually pretty
fucking
sweet, yeah.
Meat,
And then
meat
you see
seeds.
bacon. There's a pig right there. You have to
Meat
chase.
seeds. Meat.
Well, it makes more sense to give you a bag of seeds than a pig. It's just like just give you a fucking like, oh shit.
You have,
Baby
you have-
cow. Like, here you go.
you have to gut the pig yourself and everything.
No, it's out back in the mud pit, and you just gotta
You gotta like
wrestle
chase
with
it, and then they have like a gutting pit where you like gotta kill it.
See, no one would probably do it, so they wouldn't eat.
Yeah, there's a trick. Yeah, everyone, if you want to eat
Burger
meat, you
King.
gotta get it yourself. That would
you go.
people would be vegetarian
I'm
right
fine
out
with
the
that.
get go.
I say I'm fine with that.
I'll
the
get
one
my-
thing.
No,
I'll
you're
cut
fine
my
with
own.
shooting something
thing.
or bowing something. But have you ever like had to gut and
Well,
make your own
if
meat
I
out of it?
shoot one, I'm gonna have to. When I actually get one,
I
I'm
guess.
gonna have to. I'm not gonna just
Yeah.
kill it and not do that. That's even worse.
No,
So
I'm
hopefully-
not saying that. I'm just saying like you haven't gone to
Yeah.
that point yet, so you don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like.
Well, no, I know that's gonna suck. The first time,
I'm gonna be so sad when I slice its neck and
oh, yeah.
drain the blood
the first
upside
time
down.
is
and
gonna
all
be
that
the
stuff,
worst,
but
the worst thing ever. It's gonna be terrible. Probably
I'm gonna
cry,
I'll
throw
cry
up,
while
but
I do it. Yeah, exactly.
It's probably gonna be terrible, absolutely. But
But yeah, I mean that would be like
willing to do it.
that could be like the thing. It's like, well, I mean it would never happen, but they were like, boom, like no one
New
gets any
wave.
more meat unless you get it and cook it, serve it, and
But-
do everything yourself.
The problem with that is now is also there's way too many fucking people on Earth where we would just hunt everything out of extinction in like a day.
Or the same thing would happen, and then like the one hunter would just end up starting a business where he kills the animals, and he would end up starting a butcher shop, and we would just create the same world all over again.
Yeah,
Because people would be
like,
like,
the
"I'll pay you to get me this," and he's like, "Okay," and then he just starts his own
it would be
shop.
better though.
And you're
It would
like,
be
"Oh,
better
okay,
meat.
like we're just going
I
back to
guess
what we
the-
got to."
The trickle down effect of that would be you're gonna need a lot more metal or whatever to make the ammo, or like ammo to shoot all these, pigs and cows and whatever that you're killing.
Just bow and arrow, bro. That's the way.
So you use grass,
you need
use
everything
grass, and
gas.
you get them from behind.
They still need gas.
Dude, you gotta make your own bow. You gotta like use a primitive bow. You gotta like get a giant
Grass,
stick
grass, fucking noose.
Yeah, grass.
and weave
Like
a string
grass,
out of
grass.
string.
You twist it up grass and make a piano wire grass. And
Yeah. Just fucking, you're riding a cow through the field. Like, oh shit!
the grass broke. Give me another strand. I need some wheat.
It just you fall off. It's like curb stomping you into the ground. Just like, fuck.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna go have a salad.
That death by wild animal toe would rise.
Hey,
Yeah.
and that increases like running around and like
Yeah,
getting
increases
food. It
exercise.
helps, like, exercise.
Helps with
There
the
you go.
population.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be fun. I think we just figured it out.
Yeah, there you go.
Forget
Go back to
electric
the olden
cars. We need
days.
people to just start getting their own meals.
They need to be Amish.
No, if you're that crazy, but
No, I think Amish is
It's all
just
about a
unnecessary.
balance, a
But
balance.
sorry
It's
to
all about a
sorry to
balance.
if we have Amish viewers, but like, dude,
that doesn't make sense.
it's so unnecessary. You can.
How would you have an Amish viewer?
That's true.
I don't even know
That is
how he
true.
has internet. That's the thing.
So unnecessary. You can grow your own food. You can have your own things. But like, dude, this is 2021. Like, watch a show. Listen to the
Yeah,
radio.
it's-
Like, what are you doing? Like, get
That's
on
what I
your
mean. There's
shit.
like there's a balance of everything,
Some
and that's unhealthy.
illegal
Like,
stuff.
You can like
Have
you
you
can
seen-
like cleanse yourself from like the internet and like stay out of the bad stuff. But it's like you still need to be
That's
part
fine.
of the world. You can't like just be this weird recluse.
Ignore it.
You ever seen the
We're like totally shitting on like Amish people. Hopefully they're not like
Alright,
offending
fuck you,
anybody.
Amish.
Yeah, no. Well,
I just
have
feel
you
like
seen
it's
the TV
not. I'm not nothing against them. I just feel like it's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Have you seen the TV show, the Amish Gangsters or something like that?
Oh yeah.
I saw
a
like
while
some
ago.
version of that a long
Yeah.
time ago, but I mean that's all scripted nonsense, anyways. But
Yeah. it was hilarious watching that though. So like awful.
yeah,
Probably gonna hunt us, get some
Like, we'll beat you with sticks.
grass, and just
it's just like I said, it's just so unnecessary. Like you can still
Yeah.
like they're doing it to like I don't want to dive into this. It's just like
yeah.
I want to make
Next
my
podcast, we just
I wanna
dive
make my
into the
awkward
history of
assumptions for no
Amish
reason.
Let's
people
back
and
to
just-
electric cars.
I'm gonna research Amish people and go into a deep dive into Amish culture.
like a whole Amish culture and just completely rag on them for no reason.
Yeah.
Except when we come back, I did my research. I have like a crazy beard. I got an Amish hat. I'm like, oh, I converted. I'm Amish now. It's my last podcast.
You got like a weird Amish accent.
Whatever that is.
Well, you wouldn't even be on the podcast because you would have already given up the internet.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's my
that's
last
true.
one. I would come on.
You would like call us from a rotary phone, like you're like, hello guys, and you're like on some payphone somewhere. You're like, this is the last time I'm touching technology.
Like I got my horse and buggy ready to go.
Yeah,
We're ready to go.
you're like, you got an accent within like days. You're like,
Ready to go.
Oh yes.
I'm like Irish almost. So
Yeah.
Not even close.
pretty much.
gotta build my barn with all my friends and family gonna help me.
My grass wire to choke my pig.
Gotta strangle a cow.
Like grass
in the
wire.
field.
All right, here's a question:
No.
what will it
No.
take for you guys to eat a meatless nugget?
Oh, I already
It's not
ate
like
it.
it's
No,
not
no,
like-
no,
already
no,
ate a
not like,
Impossible
not like,
Burger.
oh, give you
I'll
$5
just
to eat
fucking
this.
eat
Like,
one.
what will it
I'll
take
just
for you
eat a
guys to
nugget.
switch
Well,
to
well,
meatless
already
Like
nuggets
forever?
forever?
Well, I already
No.
ate the Impossible Burger,
No.
so I'm good.
Christian, that's not the question.
No.
I will. Like I'll eat.
I
if they're
will.
good, I'll eat them. But I still
What would
want
it
my
take?
nuggets.
It would
dude.
take a lot.
Not,
It
not,
needs-
not talking
I-
like a
well-
money amount. Like, what? When do you
Well-
think it would get to a point where you would be like, all right,
Well,
like,
as
like
long
being
as I can-
realistic, like not saying like
I
here's
get-
$1 million,
okay, I get
whatever
you, I
you
got
chicken
you.
nugget.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
what
yeah.
what state would the world get to that
I
that
get-
would be a
yeah.
choice that you could
In
you
my
would
own
make?
personal life, I would have to be on my deathbed and ready to die.
He's still eating that kid. He's
You
like,
know
fuck
what?
it.
I'm gonna try it right now, and then that'll be the thing that kills me.
Yeah.
and then you're about to
If
put it in
it's
your
like-
mouth, and you're like, wow.
He's like, oh, I
If they're
never
like
actually ate it.
determined, obviously, if they're like determined, it's like absolutely necessary, or like animals are going extinct or something like that. That's like 100%. That's fine. I'll stop.
They just like come on the
like-
news. They were like, it is absolutely necessary. We all switch to meatless nuggets.
We stop eating chicken nuggets.
The world is
That'd be-
ending. We need to
You
switch to
should
That'd be
meatless
right,
nuggets.
dude.
definitely buy stocks in meatless nuggets.
Oh, we should.
Like-
Is there stocks
Yeah.
in meatless nuggets?
Like that would be like the health crisis. Is like not like don't stop, don't eat anything. Just
Well-
like we need to switch to meatless nuggets or
Well-
the world is going
well-
to end.
Well,
No,
Scott,
stop.
the question. I got a
like
question for
having
you.
nuggets.
All right, hit me.
When you ate those meatless nuggets, you didn't put any sauce on it.
I did. I
You
put
did?
some.
What
I
did it
put
taste
some
like plain though? Did
I-
you eat one plain to see how it tasted?
After putting the sauce on it, I was afraid to eat it plain. I'll admit it.
Well, that's the whole point. You gotta eat it without the sauce.
To eat it plain. Was it like bad tasting or it was like no taste?
I mean, it had a taste,
like-
but it just you could tell it wasn't like quite like chicken nugget. Like obviously, when you eat a chicken
Yeah.
nugget, you're like, this is great chicken because it's not like
Yeah,
it's nothing like
kinda
eating a
weird
piece of
anyways.
like
This is
chicken
straight
breast or
rubber.
something. But like, I don't know, just the texture of it was different.
Tastes like Astro.
you knew
Texture.
it.
So
You
it's the
knew it. You could
texture.
tell it was different. It's not like if you ate something and like it tastes similar, but you know it's different. You're kind of like your brain plays that trick on you. Like this is as you're eating it, you could tell like, okay, this is definitely
Well,
not chicken.
if it's like a texture thing, which I like a lot of texture
Did it
stuff.
taste like you were
fucking
chewing the
hate
bark
too.
of a tree?
It was a texture thing, but it was a
Ooh,
taste thing.
that's
Like
rough.
it just did not
Yeah.
taste
It's,
like
it
that.
was just like when I ate octopus. It was really
That's gross.
rubbery. I was like,
Ah.
ugh.
I've had
What if-
like fried octopus legs,
Ugh.
That's
and
terrible.
if they are fried like a lot and it was like a crispy bite, then it's not bad. But
You ever-
yeah, if you get like the rubbery, that's disgusting.
Oh
You
my
ever,
god.
have, you ever have horse lips?
No, but I had cow tongue.
That's gross.
I think I had cow tongue.
It tastes
I'm
like
not-
But
it
what if
tastes
you
like
ate that chicken
bologna
nugget?
and like ham,
You know,
hot dogs,
dude. Oh my god, the worst thing I cannot eat, where most of my friends have, is chicken feet.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
that's just weird.
I
You ever-
cannot.
you ever
I feel
eat
like
a
you shouldn't
pig's
even
eye?
eat that. That's like that's
Yeah,
a
I
thing
don't
you
think
don't
you're
eat.
supposed to.
Like why would you
Dude,
eat
no.
that?
Yeah, you're not
Well,
supposed to eat
Like
that.
toenails and stuff on that.
My friend's culture eats.
Yeah, but you're not
like,
supposed
they-
to.
Well,
Introduce them to like meatless nuggets or something.
oh, probably.
We just
Yep.
discovered why you're not supposed to eat everything.
But it's so weird, man.
Yeah,
when, I
like
was, when I was
bats.
trying it out,
Yeah.
I was like, "There's no meat on this. This doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense."
exactly.
Yeah,
Why'd
that's
you eat that?
unnecessary.
Weird
That's
and
another
gross.
thing. Unnecessary. Don't eat the chicken feet. Just throw them away. Like they'll
Just eat the
they'll
chicken.
decompose.
You don't need to eat that.
I just know he likes
Weird.
feet.
All right.
By the way, we're sorry to Christian's friends.
Yeah.
yeah,
didn't
if
say
that's
what-
like a weird
I know
cultural
people
thing,
do it. I know people
nothing
do
to
it,
you.
but it's
Nothing to
still
you. If you
gross.
want to eat it,
Don't
feel
do
free
it.
to eat it. I feel like it's weird and unnecessary. It doesn't give you any
It is.
nutritional or like
It's like
tasty
like
value.
eating ants.
But it's
Yeah,
one thing if
gross.
it's like, oh, it's super nutritional, or it's like, oh, it's really
Yeah.
tasty, but it's a weird thing. If it's neither, what the hell are you eating it for?
I just thought of something
Yeah.
that was actually watched on the Discovery Channel, where like this guy pulled out like a larva out of a log.
Oh yeah.
It's like this big.
Yeah, it's like probably Bear Grylls or something.
I think it was. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but he
Yeah.
ate it and the pus all came out. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
That's
man.
kind of
There's a lot of
gross. But I mean,
protein.
like
Protein.
they've said like like they call them like mealworms, like the basically like maggots.
Maggots.
Like maggots grow so freaking fast in like the weirdest conditions that like if like people all of a sudden started eating maggots, we could like mass produce those so easy. Like there's a lot of nations that like they'll create them and then they fry them up and like people eat them as like popcorn. You eat them as like a snack. You have like a
Oh.
bag of maggot like
just
fried
like
maggots and you eat
grasshoppers or
them.
something like that.
Eat a
But, like-
maggot bagger.
It sounds gross. I've never tried it, but it's like it really is crazy. Like how quickly, like if you
So-
most food takes so long to create, but like even like I had like bags of leaves in my yard, and like it rained
Just
out.
eat a bag of leaves.
No, and like and
He's
it,
like, I'm hungry.
and it rained.
You gotta
It
start
rained out,
munching,
and
dude.
underneath the bag was wet. And after like one day, I moved
Oh,
the bag, and the wet bag of leaves, I just moved it so that it didn't break. There was so many of those like maggots that like formed
I don't-
under this thing.
I know. I don't understand that. Like how?
Yeah, I don't-
Where do
yeah,
they
like-
come from? They say like everything has to come from something except maggots. They just come from fucking nowhere. Like it's
I
like
just,
the
like,
one thing that
it
doesn't
was-
make any fucking sense.
Like, it was gross. It was like my mind was blown. Like it's been a day, and there's like these 1 inch,
Yeah.
like 20 of these 1 inch little things. It's like,
Yeah.
if I was like some bug that ate those, that would be so happy. Like
You just see Scott on the side of the road moving all his bags, just fucking knocking off the ground.
I just bring a wet bag of leaves wherever I go now.
You like before work, you like walk out, you like put it down, you leave work, you're like, all right, and you just pick up your bag, pick up all your work, and just leave.
Yeah, like scoop them up. I plant like wet bags of leaves around the city and I farm them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure there's way better methods, but it's like,
Yeah. What bags of leaves?
but, you know, I'm just saying like that was just an
God,
example
what-
of how like ridiculously
Scott
easy they
McBaggins.
form.
Yeah, that's weird. Gross.
Right?
too.
Scott McBaggins.
What?
But
Scott
Scott
book bagums.
Scott
Wet
McBaggins.
Baggins. What if
Go eat
wet
your chicken
baggins?
swamp fries.
I was gonna say that. Chicken swamp fries.
That's what we should do. We should get random food like meatless chicken nuggets and just like set them up on the table and we just all try it out.
Do a food review.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
weird. We're like, all right, here's meatless nuggets. Here's maggots.
It's
here's
chicken feet.
Here's chicken feet. I'm like, oh fuck,
Here's
I'm
swamp
only gonna try
fries.
one of these.
I'm down to
And
eat the nugget.
here's a real chicken nugget.
And it is like a McDonald's
one's the
chicken nugget.
best?
We're all just gonna like fight to the. Yeah, we have 4 options. We just have to fight to the death, and like the winner gets to pick.
We should do like a silent library kind of thing, except not
Ooh.
silent, but just like the card you get is what you eat.
No, but that
We should do a silent library thing, but just like the library part.
we're just in a library.
We're in a library and we're just like eating nasty food, just making a mess
That
and like
would
being
that
loud.
would be funny though if we did a thing where like
eat maggots.
we have to eat or do something stupid and not laugh.
Yeah, we could do that.
That would
It's just like
But with
yeah.
boys, 2021, we're doing
We
this shit.
we would fail every single one of them.
We have a
I
lot
know.
of
I
good
know. I would.
ideas.
yeah, we
have a lot
have
of
so many
ideas.
plans. You guys don't even. I know we say it a lot. You guys don't understand. We have so many
well-
plans for when this goddamn forsaken pandemic is over. That is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun
So-
for us, but it's gonna be some pretty awesome content. We got a ton
So
of stuff.
let's end the podcast with like saying what we're gonna do since
First
this
things
is-
first. Don't forget
Yeah.
about the road to 100.
First thing first is
Yeah.
the realist.
This
I'm
is
gonna drop
Road to
this
one-
on the whole world feeling.
Road to 100 subscribers.
I believe this will
Agreed.
be podcast in the 30s. So we're like we've created a lot of content. We started the channel
Yeah, I know.
2020. We worked our ass off. It seems like we started a long time ago. We've been doing this. We have like 30 plus podcasts. We got a ton of game videos. It's like haven't repeated anything. We have like almost all new games and like new things that we've played. We haven't even gotten in person yet to like in person podcasts, actual like console
Board
gaming,
games.
recording ourselves sitting together on the couch, board games,
Buying a warehouse.
card
Sitting
game.
on top of each other on the couch.
Yeah, we got like card games like Magic the Gathering. We got like
OnlyFans.
board games. We got like just like shenanigans that you can do when you're actually in person together.
Shenanigans, yeah.
So
Shenanigans.
got a lot of things building up.
when we say we're just getting started, we're not just like pulling your
Yeah.
leg here. We literally have
So-
a whole list of stuff in wait for things to get better, but we also have a lot of stuff virtually that we're going to keep pumping out for you guys. So the road to 100, we're on our way. When we get to 100, we're going to pick one random subscriber.
100 subscribers on YouTube.
100 subscribers on YouTube, correct. We're going to pick one random subscriber. We'll have a randomizer. We'll pick one random subscriber, and that person will get a something special.
Something.
Maybe a game, maybe something. We'll contact them. We'll work it out. Make sure it's something that they want.
Suitable
that's
for
good.
them.
That's suitable for the person who wins. But we
Yeah.
want to give back and have a way to help get us to 100. That's a milestone we
And-
want to hit.
So
Our
as
Twitch
always,
now.
And as
Our
well,
Twitch now. Our Twitch
Yep,
now.
Yeah.
yep.
is-
So
is
as
pretty
well
much up and
now,
running.
yep. So as well now, we started building a Twitch channel, which
Yeah.
we didn't work too much up on throughout this podcast because we weren't deciding on like streaming our stuff. We basically just recorded it and put it on YouTube, but we wanted to get more on the getting to know the fans like now and then
More
instead
live
of
stuff.
live
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, now that we have a foundation, we did a lot of video. We did some good editing, which we'll still do. We still have a lot of stuff there, but we want to get live a bit more often for people that want to catch us like just off the cuff, not a pre-recorded thing. We'll still do our normal stuff, but we'll try to get live on other times. We'll post up when we're going live. So be sure to follow Twitch at Board with the Boys. Same with all the socials. Keep up with us.
Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Facebook, Twitch,
Yeah.
YouTube,
So
all of them.
tell your friends,
Like,
tell your family,
comment.
help us get it to 100, get us a shot at winning something, and
Follow, subscribe.
Stay tuned for
Yep.
what we got.
Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like.
And as well, if you have any like any favorite games you want us to play on Twitch, we could definitely try that out and
Yeah.
play it right in front of you guys, just so you guys can see the experience that we have with it
Yeah.
that you guys love.
Yeah, if there's
At
any-
Board with the Boys on all the socials.
yeah. If you want to see us play a certain game, let us know. If you want to see us talk about something specific on the podcast, let us know. Board game, card game that we want to add to
Let
our
us-
list
let us know.
for later on, let us know as well.
Throw it on the YouTube
Yeah,
down there, comment.
All right. Long outro.
yeah. That was a long outro, but
Kept going.
thanks for
See
tuning
you
in.
guys.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the
Thank
next
you.
one.
Hasta luego.
Peace.
Bye.
Pasta my pasta.